What's up guys, and welcome back to another video. Today's video we're talking SA Rugby confirming committing to the Rugby Championship until 2030. This is great news for South African fans and New Zealand fans, Australian fans, Argentinian fans who love the rivalries that we have created over the years. From Tri-Nations to the Rugby Championship, it has been a fantastic journey. All of this was put into doubt with South Africa leaving Super Rugby and heading over to Pro 14. We've been up in arms and debates about whether or not South Africa should join the Six Nations and replace Italy or not, or what's going on. There's been so much talk, so much debate, but now we can finally put this argument to rest. South Africa is committing to the Rugby Championship. The rivalry of the All Blacks and the Springboks will continue for another 9 years, which is fantastic news going forward. We've been put in doubt with South Africa putting out the Rugby Championship, heading into the Tri-Nations. There's been, or heading out of the Tri-Nations, and there's been talk, is that going to be the future? Well, now we know for sure it is not the future. The future is South Africa is sticking with SANZAAR, is sticking with the Rugby Championship, and that's how it will be. So this is great news coming from it, because for me as a sports fan, for you guys I'm sure as sports fans, there's so many great rivalries. There's such a great history between South Africa, Australia, New Zealand and Argentina. It's just been, I've grown up watching from Tri-Nations to Rugby Championship. I've watched the likes of Matthew Burks, the likes of Andrew Mertens, Jonah Lomu, Stephen Larkhams. You know, there's great players that we've watched in the Tri-Nations era. Then you get into the Rugby Championship, and I mean, with Argentina coming in, really showing their heart, their soul, their passion, their love for the game. It has really been awesome watching them. Although they haven't won the championship yet, they've definitely been a force they've beaten the Springboks, they've beaten the Aussies, they're yet to beat the All Blacks, but they've given them a solid run for their money, and for that I salute them. It's a great tournament. It's Southern Hemisphere on the map with such entertaining competitive rugby. Yes, you could say the All Blacks have dominated it, but when we see South Africa take you on New Zealand, it is always a humdinger of a match, whether it's over in New Zealand or down here in South Africa. We've seen good memories, we've seen bad memories, we've seen draws, we've seen it all in SA Rugby and in New Zealand Rugby. We've seen it all with Australia, thumping the Springboks too. But we've come back, and that's the beauty of the sport and the relationship we share with these three great nations, is just the history, the camaraderie, the respect on the field, off the field, the viciousness on the field, but the going for a dop afterwards and celebrating the great game we call sport. Now, SANZAAR have made a few changes to do a refreshed approach for the Rugby Championship, and SA Rugby have welcomed the decision. It says the Rugby Championship will now be played in a 12-match mini tour format, with the teams facing each other home and away. I think that's fantastic, and obviously CEO of SA Rugby, Yuri Roo, says they're looking forward to more world-class test rugby, and I couldn't agree more. Going forward, I still want to see this like a North versus South debate for the Six Nations, for Super Rugby, to see who the best is. Obviously, we're out of Super Rugby, which is still a big loss for us. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I grew up watching Super Rugby with the teams. But we put that to rest. We focus on what's ahead. There's talk of now a Super 12 team coming. 5 teams from New Zealand, 5 teams from Australia, 1 Pacific, and I think there's another team that's also going to be included from Fiji. So there's good news coming forward. It's not the end of Super Rugby. It's just going to be changed without South Africa. It's unfortunate, but you know what? These things happen. It's out of our control. But the main point is that South Africa are sticking to the South. Springbok Rugby, New Zealand Rugby, that phenomenal rivalry will continue. The rivalry with Australia and Argentina will continue, and I hope in the next, obviously it's technically 10 years, but 9 years because South Africa aren't playing this year. In the next 9 years, I hope to see competitiveness, just brilliant rugby, loads of tries, less cards, and phenomenal rugby for us as fans to enjoy, because at the end of the day, that's what we want to see. We want to really just thrive and go away from a game absolutely knackered, on the edge of our seat, not knowing what the hell's going on, and just witnessing class act rugby from class act teams. And that's really, really what I'm excited for. Did I see a future in Six Nations? I actually did. I thought there could be an opportunity for South Africa if this relationship with SANZAAR was to be gone. I think we would have adapted well. I think it would have been a very competitive tournament. I think we could have brought a lot of our Southern Hemisphere oomph. I think we would have done quite well in the Six Nations tournament. Not saying we would have won or anything, but I think we would have brought a competitive level. And by removing a team like Italy, who unfortunately hasn't been providing results, and bringing in a team like South Africa, it's just making the tournament so much more exciting and competitive, and you're just not going to be sure how the hell it's going to go. Pretty much like this past Six Nations. It was between Ireland, France, and England. And then England picked it up. You didn't know until the final game. And I think if South Africa joined Six Nations, we would have seen something like that. But I'm over the moon. I'm extremely happy. I'm extremely relieved that we are sticking in the Rugby Championship. I said it before. I'm happy if we move north for provincially, but I do not want the relationship of the Rugby Championship to be ended. There's so much history. There's such a great rivalry. There's such a great atmosphere of sport in there that I just would hate to see gone. So I am thrilled by this decision. I am happy with the new layout of what SANZAAR are doing in order to better this tournament, make it more exciting, make it more intense. And I think it will be an absolute humdinger. So bring on 2021's Rugby Championship. South Africa are here to stay for the next 9 years. It's gonna be awesome. Hope you guys share the same excitement with me, especially those who are still big fans of the great rivalries. I know a lot of fans are still the mudding with us for not playing in the Tri-Nations, for calling us all the different names. You know what? We'll sort that out next year. But for now, I'm just extremely happy with this result. It's good for rugby. It's good for the Southern Hemisphere. And I see a phenomenal, bright future ahead. So, phenomenal news. Let's go Rugby Championship 2021. That's going to do it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, smash that thumbs up button. Subscribe if you are new. And I'll see you guys real soon for another one. Thanks so much for watching. Stay safe and never give up. Cheers.